Stay Alive is a survival horror tabletop role-playing game with elements of violence, emotional trauma, biological infection, and may include other mature content or themes. Viewer discretion is advised.
Previously on Stay Alive, our survivors found themselves in the isolated rural retreat of Silver City, Georgia, stationed in a protected environment, a old school now turned temporary holdout, as they dealt with the cultists of the Third Coming. As they circumnavigated those specific hurdles, they saw their fair share of damage, danger, and death in the wake of said exchanges. However, after the finality of that collective was brought to an endpoint, it was Adrian, David, Addison, and their newfound and somewhat tentative allies in the form of Charlie, a denizen of a nearby town that David brought back from a scavenging trip, and Operative Taurus, a wandering and rogue specialist of sorts that had been providing assistance up until Mage's untimely death. However, with the children still at the school and being unable to leave them in good conscience, Adrian, with the few remaining adults that were still in place at the elementary school, opted to stay back, sending the rest of the survivors on to address a matter of great importance. In the words of Operative Taurus, a proverbial saving the world. The recovery of a high value target, suggested to be a doctor with a speciality that would help them in potentially developing a cure. David, having recently lost his wife, Addison, having recently been rescued from uh, enclosure of some sort, and Operative Taurus, now designated towards a singular mission, all hopped in the back of Charlie's truck and started driving north from Silver City, looking to make their way slowly to Chicago, where the high value target was meant to be retrieved. Unfortunately, their trip would be cut short. A set of spike strips in the road that they were taking saw the truck come to a skidding crash. David, Addison, Charlie, and Operative Taurus all bagged and gagged and escorted under cover of night and obfuscation until they were loaded into cages. David and Addison, accompanying two now temporary allies in the form of Smokey and Lexi. An otherwise prickly pair that seemed to be otherwise unenthusiastic about their current circumstances, but allies for the moment nonetheless, and Charlie and Operative Taurus were placed in a separate cage some couple 100 feet away. As the circumstances of their detainment continued to unfold, it was revealed to them that they, in exchange for water, food, and resources, were being gathered by a collection of individuals living in the mountainside of this rural area, specifically to be hunted for sport. External agents coming in for the sake of entertainment that have access to or a general lack of concern about their procurement of resources, now providing it as a commodity for something in the way of entertainment. Reasons beyond that, unknown. So while the search for a doctor that intends to help them, a yet mysterious doctor that is said to potentially be behind some moving parts and pieces that raise more nefarious questions, and the entirety of their collective force now having been let down from the cages, a secondary group ready to follow close behind them after a first group had set off in chase of the other cage where Operative Taurus and their friend Charlie had left from. With Addison quickly sprinting off forward in the distance, Smokey and Lexi maintaining their lack of enthusiasm, providing a little bit more of a meandering start, and David a tentative and careful, but still measured and definitive pace, all begin pushing in towards the wood line as a series of well-dressed and suited individuals wearing Zerk masks, all wielding a variety of weapons from ballistics to chainsaws, begin to slowly take these short, ominous steps forward, providing you your lead, but certainly on your heels. Survivors. As you push into the tree line, the forms of the individuals behind you disappearing behind the thicket of leaves, and nothing but forest in front of you with the cursory nearby noise of Zerk moving your direction. What happens next?
Oh. So do we... I would imagine we hear / see the other runners as we get closer to the forest line, because they let the other group go ahead of us.
Make an effort to notice.
Oh, I don't know if we need to do that.
I am sticking as close to David as possible since he indicated he had some kind of plan. It's better than the plan that I have, which is none plan. So I am trying to stay hot on his heels.
Okay. And David, what are you doing as your dogged pursuers surely linger closer and closer?
I think I'm just trying to survey the situation, broadly speaking, as I am running into the woods. I want to attempt to follow the path that Taurus took, because I think that is. I think that's gonna be my best bet, is to find Taurus and stick to him.
Okay, so David, make for me an effort to utilize your sociology, looking to get in the head of your operative companion. And Lexi, what was the notice?
It was a 3.
Okay.
It was a 4 sociology for me.
We're doing so great.
Okay. Based on Operative Taurus's frame, sizable, strong, definitive, his specialty thus far that you've seen largely relying upon distance-based weapons, sniper rifles specifically. The circumstances now being what they are, you're not really sure how he would move through the forest in any definitive kind of sense, but do get an idea that he'd likely be taking a very tactical approach and be looking to try to create distance, but ultimately find an opportunity to at least survey the area. kind of carving out a little bit of an angular approach to how you'd like to begin moving forward, going through the process of trying to get a look out. I'm going to say go ahead and make an effort to notice as well. As David's pace begins to slow, Lexi, you see him starting to quickly take glances around, looking almost at an off-axis angle from the approach that you all took into the forest together. And while there is clearly a purpose to David's positioning and activity, your eyes are immediately drawn to this slightly odd and misshapen figure that seems to be a bit of a standout, even for the dark silhouettes of the forest that you can see largely in front of you. There is an individual standing directly in front of a tree, not moving, except for one arm almost kind of reaching out towards you. You can almost see, probably about 30 or so feet away, the darkness of night and the canopy of the trees sort of obfuscating much of the detail. But you do in fact see there is a humanoid form hiding up against a tree that appears to be reaching out towards you.
I'm sticking with David. He said he had a plan. What I would like to do is, if I can find, as we're moving, if I can kind of get an ear for which obviously I can't. I'm trying to find a tree that I can maybe climb and
Okay.
like kind of tuck myself away in for at least a little bit. And then
Sure. I'm gonna say make an effort to utilize your fitness.
Okay.
And Smokey, what are you doing at this point in time?
If I have the opportunity to do so, if it seems like we're even slowing down a hair, I want to try and get a gauge of, like, I'm going to take a scan of the tree line behind us to see if I can assess how close these individuals may be, or if I can track like which way they're coming from.
Okay. Go ahead and make an effort to notice. I'm going to say with the low light and no direct sight line, this will also be at desperation.
Ooh. Okay.
My notice check a moment ago was an 8 for the record.
Perfect.
Okay. At desperation, I'm going to use one of my ones from my scatterbrain training. So that'll bring me to a 9.
Okay. So you immediately find yourself scanning the tree line directly behind you. A series of wildlife that is nested in the area, especially given the lack of now sort of man-made or unnatural interruptions to their habitat. The forest is a little bit more alive. You find yourself distracted, the symphony of sound throwing you off, until you're able to quickly just focus on one small pinprick of light. Your mind kind of filling in the gaps as you retrace your steps through your neural pathways, ultimately seeing that they're probably staggered about this distance, this quantum geometry that sort of unfolds you to the universe, getting a gauge that they're probably closing in. They're not looking to do so particularly quick, but they're probably within 100 or so feet. And as you are focused on this distance, that's when you begin to hear this chainsaw revving getting closer and closer. They're clearly moving towards you, but your attunement to the area allows you to recognize they're probably also moving at a slower pace, perhaps on purpose. The volume and increase of audibility of the chainsaw giving away a little bit of their overall directionality and pursuit as well.
Okay, I'm just gonna try to keep that active and on the back burner in my head as we move forward.
Okay.
I'm also looking for something heavy, like some kind of rock or anything I could throw to defend myself.
I'm gonna say you're in the forest, so finding a rock is certainly a
Love a rock.
relatively easy and viable option. As you are standing there getting a gauge, looking back to David to see what ground he's covered, trying to maintain an awareness of your surroundings, that's when you hear that, still plenty loud, but extremely difficult to place the location where it's coming from. These silenced rounds with pistols being fired at some distance. And Smokey, a tree probably directly behind you, an explosion of bark rattles directly across the side of your face as you now see an exposed bullet hole in the trunk of this tree at head level.
Oh, okay. They're playing. Okay, they're really playing games. Okay, they're really playing games. Okay, all right. I'm gonna keep moving. I'm not gonna stay still anymore. But okay, got my eye on you.
As you begin shucking and jiving behind as much cover as possible, David, you are looking into the interior portion of the forest, still maintaining a visual on this angled departure, and you see the rather big and notable form of Operative Taurus, not specifically because he is so sizable or because he is not maintaining a sense of stealth, but a small patch of discolored light fabric from underneath the exterior of his operative wear, where he had removed the Taurus patch that he had left behind for Mage, a signature and telltale cutout that you can quickly place. Suggests to you that even at this distance, the slight shifting movement, the humanoid form it's associated with, Operative Taurus is probably maybe 70 feet to your northwest, give or take.
Cool. I think I'm gonna speed up, and we are gonna run, not necessarily directly to him, but like kind of 10 feet past him.
Okay.
And as we go, I'm gonna try to make some noise once we are past where he is, and see if we can't perhaps lead an individual or two.
I have a question for all of our survivors. Are you prioritizing speed, stealth, or awareness?
2 out of 3? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. How are we? Which one are we not
Speed, stealth, or
prioritizing?
awareness.
As part of your
Stealth.
movement?
Stealth,
Minus
because I
stealth.
put a target on my own head, so stealth.
Okay. And David?
My priority is definitely, I think it's awareness, because I am trying to simultaneously run our pursuers directly underneath where Taurus is, lead them beyond here, and leave a trail that they are able to follow very clearly, so that they are focused on me and don't realize that he's in the tree.
Okay. So I'd like all of you to make an effort to notice, please. David, please do so well prepared. Smokey and Lexi are going to be desperate for this effort.
I was so proud of my roll too. Oh God.
I'm going to use a 2 for that desperation, so that's going to bring me to a 7.
Okay, Lexi, please roll a d4.
D4. Is this a is this a consequence roll?
It is a consequence roll against.
Against, great. Well, my die hard is going to make that to a 1.
Okay. So
Right,
as
7.
you are moving through, David, looking around, you are able to provide Lexi the smallest window of advance warning. Not enough to entirely stave off the consequences, but enough to allow her position to shift, to adjust. As you hear this very quick clap closed as this bear trap snags Lexi's foot, clamping shut, and you now feel the metallic tines, the teeth of a bear trap, dug into the lower portion of your calf, Lexi.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I pry it enough away that I can pull my leg out?
You can certainly try.
I don't know how bad.
Is anyone else taking any additional actions in the moment?
I will take a moment to stop, turn, fetch my knife from my boot as I do this, and using that, try to assist in freeing her foot.
All right. Lexi, make an effort to utilize your fitness.
Not brawling?
You'd be hard-pressed to punch the bear trap, but with David's assistance in that regard, you will be making a well-prepared roll.
One day I'll get to use the one thing I'm good at. I'm not bad at this. Fitness?
Fitness.
With ooh, and my nerves of steel give me a +1, so we're gonna make that 11.
Okay.
That's a lot of
You
bad that
see
just happened.
the teeth pulling out from your pants, the ends of them shimmering a little bit in the limited night light, clearly having pierced into the meat of your primary mobility tool for the moment. But fortunately, with David's help and your quick reaction, your well-placed and perhaps well-prepared effort towards not taking the brunt of what damage could have been possible, you do find yourself otherwise free from the trap. You are going to take a -1 penalty to your physique until your leg is properly healed, but otherwise avoiding a vast majority of the damage that could have come from that. The awareness of David now clearly a renewed focal point as you find yourselves continuing to navigate forward, David leading the charge towards Operative Taurus's location, and your leg stinging with pain, but not completely slowing you down. As you get within range, you see Operative Taurus, back and shoulder blades tucked up behind a rather large log, a knife folded backwards grip in his hand, immediately looking to lunge towards you, David, as you begin running forward until he sees you run past. What you doing? Are you intent on doing anything differently, or are you just looking to make commotion?
I'm intent on making a commotion, but as we go, I want to just kind of make eye contact with him, hold up my Gemma knife, and just make like a stabbing motion, and then point back, and then I'm gonna keep running.
Oh, okay. So
Trying to communicate to him that I am the bait and he is the trap.
okay, sure. So David carrying on, looking to draw attention and aggro. What are Lexi and Smokey doing during this time?
Okay. Do we see by chance as we're running the old couple as well? The other people that were in the cage with no?
Do not.
Well,
You do not see
okay.
Charlie alongside David either. Or sorry, Charlie alongside Operative Taurus.
Woof.
I don't know
Okay.
what it is, but
I don't either. I'm gonna just keep tailing. I'm gonna keep tailing David, but I definitely want to. I hate it so much. I definitely want to see if I can keep at least a peripheral awareness of where Taurus is moving back there, and if I hear sounds of a scuffle, is what I'm trying to keep an ear.
Taurus
out for.
looked to be establishing something maybe in the way of an ambush, or at least the attempt to try and get the jump on your pursuers. It seems as if whatever this other group was has not yet made it as far as wherever Taurus has gotten. So in your effort to link up with Taurus, which in and of itself, not particularly difficult, you may also be dealing with the convergence of these two groups that are hunting your group separately.
Okay. Well, I might see if I can post up maybe 20 or so feet away. I think I can throw something 20 feet. So I'm gonna try and like veer out of sight, not too close, but not too far. In case it seems like this guy has a handle on it, then I'm gonna like jump out at the last minute and like start helping. If he doesn't have a handle on it, I'm gonna book it.
So make an effort to utilize your grace for the time being to try and remain nearby but surreptitious in your lying in wait.
Okay.
And while Smokey looks to position themselves in a unique offshade from the main event, as it were, what is Lexi looking to do?
I'm gonna do something similar, but like in the opposite direction. I'm trying to give us some space, but I'm also kind of trying to tuck away and see kind of how this unfolds. My thought is if we wait for some kind of thing to happen, I'm trying to position myself where I could maybe find a little bit of coverage to sneak back around if I could. So whatever direction Smokey's running, I'm gonna try to post up and tuck away.
Understood.
Low.
So I'll have you go ahead and make an effort to utilize your grace as well for me then. David, as you begin navigating past looking to draw aggro, it is Lexi and Smokey that would find yourselves peeking around your various locations of hidden safety, at least for the briefest of moments. That sees two of these masked individuals now moving through an opening in the tree line, pushing towards where Taurus is currently hidden behind this felled log. As part of their emergence, you see one holding this chainsaw, looking around, stalking, visually observing the area. The other one with this compact but assault rifle styled weapon seems to have a large rail sight built into most of its frame, the butt of it already tucked into their shoulder. You see the individual with the chainsaw kind of lower it down to their hip, just for the briefest of moments. There isn't necessarily anything in the way of immediate action from either of them until you see the rifle raise up and begin specifically eyeing the log that Taurus is sitting behind. This rifle perhaps equipped with the ability to scan better via the scope attached to it while at night. Is anyone
all
taking...
see this?
You and Lexi would. David is currently a little bit further distance away and currently running the opposite direction.
Is there anything on the ground around me, like a rock or something, or a stick that I could throw? I'm trying to separate them a little bit.
I mean, there are, there's forest refuse of all kinds that's going to be around the floor. You're not going to be looking at any boulders or really considerable rocks, but anything that would pass for a pebble-ish stone, I'm sure would be easy enough.
Just trying to get one of them to go further in the direction I went, so further away from Smokey.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get some space between these two individuals.
Since you're using a very broad and generalized direction, and your intent is to try and obfuscate movement and get them chasing after this noise, I'm gonna have you utilize your sociology for this throw.
Oh my god, I did so good. That's a 3.
Okay. So this rock cascading off into the distance, there is this brief moment where you hear it hit. Both of them look for a brief moment. It's at this time that the slight shift of Taurus provides an almost equally audible but much more nearby small shuffle in the ground and a quick burst of silenced gunfire, immediately riddling into the tree as you see Taurus quickly diving down behind the tree, trying to remain hidden as possible. The individual with the chainsaw now beginning to march towards Taurus's direction and cover. David,
no,
you would
I wanna
also
throw
hear the small bursts of silenced fire, a telltale indicator that some type of exchange is going down. And as Smokey is looking to throw a rock, the chainsaw-wielding individual moving forward, the reload taking place for a rifle-wielding assailant that is now providing a setup towards their secondary approach. David, are you changing course at all?
How far behind me is this taking place? Just approximately.
This is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 or so feet. Lexi and Smokey maybe an angled 30 feet away, and then Operative Taurus at the sort of isosceles apex of their triangular formation here. Another 30 feet from there, so.
Okay, yeah, so if I hear the gunfire, I'm gonna take a moment. I'm gonna go, shit. I'm gonna turn back. Hey, they're over here! And then I'm gonna run like a 90-degree angle from the direction that I've been running before, trying to change course and stay out of a line of fire too.
We will try this. I'm going to ask you though, David, firstly, as you veer off in a very tangented direction, are you veering off the direction from where Lexi is hidden in safety, or the direction where Smokey is hidden in safety?
Let's say that I am running towards... So there's like a cone that we're running through the forest away from where we are. I'm running to the closer edge, right? So if we've been leaning to the left so far, I'm turning left. If we've been leaning to the right so far, I'm turning right. I'm trying to get out of whatever that cone is to potentially circle back around.
That brings your darting form the slightly offset direction of Lexi hidden behind a tree. So first for me, David, please make an effort to utilize your sociology or your diplomacy. I will let you decide.
Let's go diplomacy on that. And this is important, so I'm going to use a group well prepared. That's a 5.
So, drawn to the quick motion, the loud, proud, and well-declared visibility of your form as you make haste at a quick angle. Lexi and Smokey, both of you again would hear this rapid burst as silenced gunfire rips across the forest. All of them aiming towards David as he continues to flee. David, I would like you to roll for a consequence, please.
Yeah, sure. Anytime. That right there's a 1.
Okay. You feel the bullets pass underneath each step as they kick dirt from the forest floor and rip and destroy the bark off of trees behind you. A cascade of chaos almost perfectly avoiding you in every capacity as you are trying to sprint full speed. Unfortunately, your motion nowhere near the same speed as a bullet would ever be, and a nearly reckless burst of gunfire sees you quickly thrown as you take a shoulder shot, whipping your form around. David, please make an effort to endure for me.
Yeah, that's a 9.
You are tough and resolved. You are following through on the actions and planning that you have already worked out in your mind's eye, and can get a pretty quick gauge to determine that your immediate damage probably not good for you, but it's going to be largely superficial. You're not going to have any massive issues with blood loss right away, and you've dealt with your fair share of pain already. Your physique and brawling will be -1. But otherwise, as you continue to sprint forward, pushing in this separated direction, you also hear the magwell reloading action of the rifle, the quick burst of gunfire expended in your direction, not enough to bring you down or cause significant damage as you sprint off, a bunny through the forest. However, this quick shift does see both of these individuals pointing your direction, Lexi. After the reload, you see the gun quickly raised again, looking to take in the surveilling area. The individual with the chainsaw, not as focused on moving towards the log right this second, both of them now fixated on this quick moving target. I'm sorry, remind me, what was your effort for grace?
I didn't roll for grace. Did I roll for grace?
Roll another one. It's fine. Just roll for grace for me.
I thought I was perceiving things. 7. Did I roll for grace? I'm sorry if I lied or cheated
That's fine.
in some way. 7.
So you see both of these individuals begin slowly moving towards you. They're much more measured than you would have expected. Almost a small kind of tactical side straddle with each step. They themselves almost looking to try and remain quiet. But as you thin yourself out as much as possible, you begin to notice that their movement is not maybe directed at you. They're moving towards David and do not seem to have an immediate awareness that you are nearby. The small perch that you've kind of afforded yourself, this desperate moment of trying to look around and see yourself to safety, reveals a secondary notable consideration. About 10 or so feet away from you, face down, but wearing a similar logo to the very quick and brief visibility you had on the operative, there is an individual face down. They appear to be wearing some type of tactical garb. Leaning up against a tree, only just visible. You would have to separate from your protective cover to navigate over, but they appear to be holding a rather large sort of steel metallic rod, maybe about 1.5 feet, 2 feet in length.
How far away are the... So I'm behind a tree. They're walking past me. How close are these two assailants?
They're going to be on the opposite side of the tree by about 10 to 15 feet.
Walking towards or away from the tree?
They're going to be walking by it. So towards it for now.
Okay.
Potentially away from it shortly thereafter.
And the face down body is on their path?
No, it is almost perpendicular. So you'd be able to get to it without being seen, but you would have to do so nimbly or quickly. Your call to make.
You know what? Well, I'll have to risk it for the biscuit because... And I have no idea what it is. It just looks okay. But it looks like a weapon, and if I go now, I'm less likely to be seen. So...
If you would like to go for it.
I'm going to try to go for it. And I'm actually going to rely more on speed than quietness. I'm going to try to get to it and then get behind cover as fast as I can. And hopefully this thing will be of use to me at some point. And hopefully I won't die.
Make an effort to utilize your fitness, please.
That's a 4. Wait, can I use a table well prepared? Bam bam.
It's up to you.
I'm gonna use it. It's a 5. Thanks, Josh.
So, as you quickly go galloping off, sprinting in the opposite direction of where your assailants are currently heading, you almost immediately notice that the pain, the immediate reactionary nerve flare that comes from trying to put quick and shifting weight on the leg that was recently trapped in a 6 in a bear trap, sees you not moving quite as quick or as nimbly as you might otherwise like. However, as part of your quick and expedited departure, you are able to navigate over to the form, stripping their hand of this gripped rod, quickly trying to dive behind cover. However, it is not without providing an opportunity from one of the assailants to send a scattered array of shots whizzing past your location, not finding any kind of definitive target on you specifically for the moment. Smokey, you are hidden behind a tree, and you see Lexi now darting one direction, David darting another, and Taurus now, sensing a shift in movement, beginning to slowly snake his way on the ground, the blade flipped back to be held in his hand, looking in Lexi's direction, trying to get a gauge for the commotion being caused at the moment. Would you like to do anything?
How far away from me do the 2 individuals that are in pursuit of Lexi look to be, and how far apart are they from one another?
35 to 40 feet away, 5 feet away from one another.
Sucks. Okay. I'm going to take a quick scan to make sure that there's none of these other fuckers in the forest coming in droves. And then I'm going to try to pursue these 2 as quietly as possible. Would love to get close enough to the one, whichever one I think I can take, and just like crack him over the back of the skull with this rock that I'm carrying. That's my goal.
Make
but
an
I am
effort
going to stay a
to
healthy
notice,
distance
please.
away. Okay. That's a 10 even.
Okay. You do see that the individual holding the assault rifle is not in direct pursuit, but as the chainsaw-wielding individual pushes towards Lexi's direction, they appear to be largely isolated. A wonderful opportunity for you to execute on your plan. However, your keen senses and awareness also connects you to the immediate surrounding environment. And you now see 2 individuals at a greater distance looking to move your direction as well. In fact, even as you lock eyes with them, probably just over 50 or so feet away, trying to make out these forms in the dark, the Zerk-esque nature of their masks still luminescent with their glow-in-the-dark paints. Is there somebody, Rabbit? and immediately this riddling of bullets shooting your way at some great distance. And two individuals with almost a bit of a skip in their step begin pushing your direction, missing their shots, but looking to close in. What would you like to do?
Well, okay, if it doesn't seem like it has caught the attention of the two close to Lexi, I'm just gonna low and slow. I'm gonna get down as far as I can, like out of line of sight, and I'm gonna try and like move in pursuit of that one with the gun. I don't think I'm gonna be very good with a chainsaw, so I'm gonna go for the other guy.
Okay, go ahead and make an effort to utilize your grace for me, please. And Lexi, as this is taking place, the sound of the chainsaw is beginning to grow closer and closer. You look down as you see the end of this steel rod begin to spark and shake with electrified vigor, and the sound of the chainsaw not only growing closer, but looking to rev up as you sense your assailant growing close directly behind you. You have a gap of what has to be at least 10 or so feet. They're currently standing, looking to move your direction, but you feel the noise no longer growing louder. Holding position. Oh, yes. Here we go! And the loud noise of the chainsaw begins moving your direction as you feel it crash into the log directly next to you, trying to cut through down in next to you. What would you like to do?
Cool. Whatever side it's on. Because log, is this on the ground? Or
Yeah.
tree? Trunk. Oh, okay.
Yeah, on the ground, behind cover.
Okay. Well, as soon as it's in the tree, I don't know how saws, well, I don't know how things work. I'm just gonna try to zippy zap him. I'm gonna try to swing around, kind of roll out of the immediate danger, and I'm gonna try to like swing and get somewhere in the, because I'm guessing, somewhere along this side.
Sure.
Where there's a large target. I'm not trying to go for his arm. I'm trying to. It's longer, so I can.
Somewhere in the torso.
Get him.
I'm gonna say make
him.
make an effort to brawl, please.
Okay. You were made for this. It's a 10.
Okay. Roll a d4 for me, please. This is 4. This is not against.
Get him. Oh, that's a 2.
Okay. So as you quickly burst out from behind your cover, looking to jam the stun rod into the sort of underarm, right into the soft meat in the side of your assailant, you actually feel, looking at their form, that their entire musculature tense up as you hear the chainsaw revving once more, digging and carving through the tree stump, looking to try and maintain and gather control.
Can I? Okay.
While it seems as if you provided yourself an upper hand, they are able to shrug off the more long-term or hindering effects of the electrical stun, providing you a window of opportunity to flee, attack, or take some other behavioral action if you'd like to do that. But you do have a moment of pause.
We're here. We're in it. I'm gonna try to, if I can, I'm now that with that little brief pause, I'm gonna get in closer, and I'm gonna go in again. Try to get a little bit more distance from the chainsaw. Still trying to like be smart about it, because he was I don't want him to accidentally I don't want to get a hit as a result of any potential electrical shenanigans.
Neither would I. I would hate that for you. Go ahead and make an effort to brawl, please.
Okay. 12.
Okay. Roll a d4.
That's another 2.
The electrical charge quickly coursing through their body. You again feel them tense up as this spasm, this tightening of musculature immediately clamping down on the grip that causes the chainsaw to rev. This jolting shake for a brief moment as the current again hits them directly in the midsection. Their toughness and resolve holding out as you see them roll. The 2 tines at the very end of your stun stick detaching from their form, having delivered their charge but providing him at least a window of opportunity to retaliate with your closing in. Up above the head, the chainsaw looking to charge directly down towards you. Your form shifting just out of the way, the blades dragging across the ground as you drag your toes out from underneath the path, wheeling backwards. 2 or 3 close calls within a single swing, but none of them finding the subsurface layer of flesh, narrowly avoiding a potentially considerable wound that provides you an opportunity to quickly retaliate. What would you like to do?
Oh my god. You know what? If it's possible, I'm gonna go in again. I have this electrical shenanigan. I really need to get this thing away from him. Can I just try to wrestle it out of his grip?
Sure. Make an effort to utilize your... I'll say this brawling. You can use brawling for this.
11.
You find yourself deadlocked as their recovering form is just barely able to keep you from ripping it from their grasp. The very tips of their fingers barely hanging on to both the throttle and choke of this chainsaw as the 2 of you now fight back and forth with the body and engine of the chainsaw between the 2 of you, the blade separating you directly in front of you both as you fight side to side, both of you looking to maintain distance from the dangerous end of it. As you fight in this deadlocked moment, the individual is going to be looking to try to shunt you away with a downward thrust of the chainsaw, looking to simply rake it across your form and the distance created. Make for me an effort to brawl, please.
9.
Roll a d4 against, please.
Against?
Yes, against yourself.
Oh. 2.
Okay. The signature telltale revving that has thus far been a byproduct of your stun stick now kicks up yet again, but this time you find it bouncing off the exterior portion of your form. A small nick at the hip feels the entirety of your hip bone almost jut back against the metal tooth as you see the chainsaw quickly skip. Not a definitive or leverage strike as much as a desperate one. Ultimately dealing some surface layer damage, nothing that is going to be super high tier, but otherwise still causing its fair share of blood loss, surface level damage, imposing a -1 penalty to your brawling and your endure. The
So
two of
that's
you... Sorry?
So that will be -2 now, total, for brawling, right?
Because the first one was to your fitness,
I had
think,
-1
correct?
for physique.
Correct. Yeah.
Full physique.
Yeah, sorry, your physique. Excuse me.
And endurance?
And endurance. Correct.
Got it. Okay.
You now stand eye to eye, a 5-foot gap between the two of you, as the individual seems to ready themselves for another quick strike. The stun stick dangling from your arm that now feels slightly wetted as a little bit of blood from the inside of your jacket sleeve trickling down to the back side of your hand. What would you like to do?
I don't want to play a dance with 5 feet between us. He has distance. He has more reach than me with that chainsaw. I'm gonna try to swing around, get something physical in between us, and trust that my mobility with my arms will play Ring Around the Rosie with a tree.
Okay. All right. I'm on board with that. Go ahead and make an effort to utilize your fitness for me. Smokey, as this altercation has quickly made its way just slightly over your direction, there are two very, very notable standouts for your surrounding environment. On the one hand, you begin to hear the distant but definitive sounds of Zerk starting to grow closer. Overshadowed slightly by the noise of the revving chainsaw nearby, but certainly off in the distance without too much consideration, as Operative Taurus, seemingly nursing a bit of a wound on his leg, is continuing to slowly crawl himself your direction. You see Lexi quickly locking horns with this chainsaw-wielding adversary as the armed individual moves off in the direction that David had previously sprinted. Your two new pursuers still headed your direction. What would you like to do?
How far am I from the one that has the gun that was in the original pair of the...
They're beginning to walk, the armed individual is beginning to pursue David, the opposite direction from where you are, so gaining several feet per moment as time ticks by. The chainsaw-wielding assailant, this hunter now in direct proximity with Lexi. Taurus just trying to scramble along the forest floor for a brief moment to find a better angle. Clearly his mobility not what it might have been just moments ago. And David now already pursuing a invisible distance in the cover of the dark and forest, now pursued by his new hunter assailant. Your visibility is relatively limited. You know approximately where these threats are based on your perception of the area around you. What would you like to do?
Okay, if the one that is closest to me is the one that is in this tussle with Lexi, then I guess one is better than none. I'm gonna try to get as close as I can, as quietly as possible, and try and wait for a moment when she's got his attention to try to take him out from behind with this rock. I'm gonna try my best.
Okay. As you begin navigating inward, you see Operative Taurus more or less kind of on a collision course with you. You moving slow due to your stealth, Taurus moving slow, perhaps partially due to stealth, but also due to some kind of physical hindrance he's experiencing. You see Taurus kind of look up at you, immediately throw the knife arm back, looking you over, up and down, recognizing you likely not among the adversaries he is currently looking to track. You see him roll over onto his butt, back flat against the forest floor, and you see him pointing directly above his head, almost trying to suggest or indicate positional awareness, a location, trying to designate you to move. Is that an instruction you'd be looking to comply with?
He wants me to go up?
Well, above him, while he is lying flat on his back, looking to create a little bit of additional distance from him, but in a straight line to your adversaries.
What does he want me to do? He wants me to mount him? What does he want me to do?
While he's lying down.
Stand over him? Yeah,
no, he's
right.
looking to have you carry on forward. You providing yourself perhaps visible eye line, a little bit of a bait from which he can spring up at an opportune moment.
Oh, that was almost sexy. Okay. All right. I will begrudgingly kind of see if this works. So I'm gonna try and get a little bit closer, and then take my chance whenever I can.
Make an effort to utilize your grace, your attempt to aggress upon your assailant unnoticed.
That's a 4.
Okay. David, as you find yourself sprinting off into the wood line, the now muted sound of silenced gunfire ricocheting off some of the woodwork behind you, taking just a quick moment to breathe, looking to find an avenue to circle back, looking to try and provide something in the vein of a surprise attack, a pseudo-coordinated flanking maneuver. You hear a twig break nearby. As you are otherwise creating some notable distance between you and the scuffle that is clearly taking place perhaps another 70 or so feet from where you just came from. The sound of distant Zerk now surrounding you, but as you look around, you see an individual standing probably 20 feet away from you. A separation of the tree line sees this figure standing almost straight up and down. A bunny mask with blood spattered on it. One of the ears purposefully folded down to the point of this plastic-like mask being broken. In their hand, what appear to be 2 meat-styled hooks, cinching metal that pushes through the middle knuckle, and they're currently standing, staring at you, silently.
Do I recognize this individual as one of the hunters in this game, or is this someone entirely separate?
This does not seem to be any of the hunters that you had previously seen.
Are they taking any action or just standing there?
They're currently standing with their arms almost folded forward, the exposition of the inside of their elbows, the hooks rounded backwards but still looping back to point towards you as they sit just above the knee. This almost presentory type of pose, staring at you without a word.
I've got a little bit of time before this other person coming after us gets close, so take a second. I'm just gonna look at this guy. Like, what's your deal? Some kind of horror movie? Come on now, there's fuckers with guns. If you want to go fuck with someone, do that.
You see the mask tilt slightly, one of the ears providing a cut in the silhouette of the forest behind, still providing no audible reaction. But this very gentle and delicate bow, no more than 10 to 15 degrees, the eyes still kind of lingering underneath the cheap plastic of the mask as the figure begins to move towards you.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to do the whole circle back thing a little faster than I was anticipating now. And I'm going to try to move rapidly, but also silently, so that both the person with the gun and this person...
David, as you begin to make your hasty retreat, the body posturing of your movement, you see it quickly mirrored as the individual takes a very aggressive and shifted step. Go ahead and make an effort to utilize your sociology here for me, please.
Zero.
This individual is surely acting odd.
I'm just gonna start moving back loosely towards where the trap was left and see who was caught. If I'm aware that this person with the gun is chasing me out here, I'm gonna try to steer clear of them, but maybe I can get the two of them to fight one another is kind of my hope, is I can run the two of them into each other.
As you begin running, this bunny hunter gives chase. Quick and aggressive. Please make an effort to utilize your fitness.
Three.
Based on the nature of the weapons that they are utilizing, based on their overall physique and clear interest and involvement in whatever nefarious activity is at play here, it is quickly revealed that their physical capabilities exceed that of your own. In a very purposeful and designed measure, as you hear their footsteps quickly lingering on your heels, and in a moment's time, you will be caught, likely, it seems, with the end of a hook. Did you have any opportunity or any action you'd like to take in a quick opportunity to try and react to the change of circumstance?
If it is abundantly clear that I cannot get away, I've got one knife in my hand, and I'm going to take a moment and turn and throw it at this individual. And what I'm gonna try to kill him. I'm gonna like aim for the throat with this knife.
David, you are sprinting away the fastest your body will carry you, only to quickly realize it will not be fast enough given your pursuer. So, making the decision to turn and fight, shifting away from flight, I'll ask you, is your intent on turning around to specifically focus on a kill shot, or whatever damage might be necessary to provide an opportunity to create additional space? Hoping to hinder and wound to make an escape, or putting everything into the focus and accuracy of the deadliness of your strike?
There are too many threats right now. I think if I don't eliminate this one, we're in deep shit. So I'm gonna aim to kill.
Focusing everything on your accuracy leaves you inherently vulnerable, grounding your feet and stilling your form. A miss certainly resulting in a much better opportunity for your pursuer still moving aggressively your direction. David, please make an effort to utilize your accuracy.
$11.
That'll do it. Please roll a d4 against, or excuse me, a d4 4.
2.
So as you turn, you see this individual now, the hooks protruding from their hands as they are sprinting after you. The moment you turn, they are almost about to go up into the air, looking to make a tackling leap, hopefully trying to bring you down by the shoulders, a hook in each side, not ready or prepared for you to quickly turn around and make an aggressive assault in defense. When you throw the blade, seeing it spin end over end only a couple times before the target is immediately upon you, the force of your throw, not particularly considerable, but its accuracy is nearly spot on. The blade just above where the heart would sit, digging in below the collarbone, pushing through the upper rib cage. A lethal wound if pushed further and harder, but as it stands right now, enough to ground your assailant for a brief moment in time. They hit the ground in a painful scramble, sitting very near your feet. You have an opportunity to finish or run. What would you like to do?
If it's just a matter of pushing the knife in, I'm gonna very quickly run forward and just make
an effort to
dive
brawl,
on,
please.
Yes, this is gonna go so good. It's gonna be so good. Six, actually.
So, David, this individual, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to say, based on their current circumstances, they would not be feeling super hot themselves. So, in the stillness of the forest, the last two noises are the crunch of dried pine needles and earth beneath your feet as you quickly lunge towards your assailant. The nearby woods now filling with Zerk, drawn to the sound of the gunfire, chainsaw, and various accoutrements. Finding yourself not able to cleanly palm strike the end of the blade to push it inwards, this desperate struggle ensues that sees you both, at least in this extremely confined space, very evenly matched. I'm going to say utilize your fitness for me, please.
That's a 5.
And as your weight and leverage as slowly as is necessary for you to accomplish your deed, you see the blade begin to choke the life out of your assailant from the inside as your form creates this hugging press that uses the back end of the blade pushed up against your own form in this desperate struggle on the ground before you feel their arms release you. Their maintenance of their weapons and the attempt to grapple at the same time, providing superficial scratches, but nothing in the way of definitive damage before their body falls and goes limp.
Okay. I would like to take the mask, put it on myself, put the Gemma knife in one of my pockets, and take these hook things and start going back.
Smokey, as you begin moving towards the individual you're looking to try and help Lexi with, you see Taurus pop up, this almost snap sit-up that takes place, the lower abdominal snapping his upper form forward, this massive arm swing coming forward as these two pistol-wielding hunters still looking to gun down their bonus points. You know what? I'll let you roll it. Roll a d4.
For what?
For Taurus.
Okay. Is this, it's not a desperation or a well prepared, right? It's just something else. Okay, that's fine.
Yep.
Okay, 3
Okay.
is probably the best number I could have rolled, I think, probably.
So you see Taurus pop up, a blade goes spinning, the reflection of light cutting through the darkness of the forest, an immediate flash as this definitive, quick, concussive force. The individual just finishing the reload after having fired off at David only moments ago before you reset. There is this thick thud and then this burst of light, the form disappearing to the forest floor. Taurus quickly turning, looking to almost try to crawl to his knees, fighting himself to get up. And from behind him, not maybe directly aware of your location, you now directly between Lexi and Operative Taurus, you hear from beyond Taurus's direction, there now. It will all be over so soon. You see the figure having just pushed forward through the tree line, now no more than 10 to 15 feet away, raising a pistol, pointing it directly at Operative Taurus, scrambling to try and get off the ground. The opposite direction, the buzzing of the chainsaw growing louder and louder as you hear Lexi and this other hunter growing in a tighter tussle, both in imminent danger. What would you like?
Okay, so the guy that fell, how far is that away from me? That was one of the original two with the gun, right?
25 or so feet. Yeah, the blue suited individual now walking towards Taurus, their companion, having fallen, taken a definitive and deadly blade to the chest from Taurus's throw.
Okay. I'm gonna take the rock that I'm trying to kind of skulk along with, and I'm going to, I'm gonna try and lob it at the guy in the suit's head. That's what I'm
Make an
gonna try
effort
to do.
to be accurate, please.
Okay. Okay. I might use the last group well prepared, and I'm going to use my 3, which will bring me to a 10.
I'm gonna say make an effort to use your fitness as well, please.
Ew. 4.
Roll a d4. 4.
3.
So as you are finding yourself positionally in an opening where you can chuck this rock for some kind of significant damage or interference even, you see this chromalied steel, beautiful at a distance even, well-kept and polished weapon, the long black suppressor attached to the end of it, the telltale signature of the recent gunfire that you have been fleeing from. As you see Operative Taurus in this defeated stance, one foot on the forest floor, the other one just risen to a knee, as he is able to just finally bring his posture upright, but not able to find himself in a fighting position. The individual taking a few steps forward, pointing the gun directly towards Taurus's face, Well, do you have any last words, cowboy? Having recently laid eyes on you, you have these hands up and this quick little twitch indicating a moment of opportunity. Abracadabra. What is this? This abracadabra. When this rock flying directly over Taurus's head, smashing the suited individual in the face that sees Taurus quickly lunging forward, utilizing the coordinated momentum to try and bring the adversary to the ground. You see them both wrestling around on the ground. There is an extremely tense struggle and tussle for an impossibly long time, but only over a very short period. Are you looking to move closer or away from this fracas?
I feel like I gotta get in. I gotta get in there. I'm gonna try to get close enough to pick something up nearby on my way, and I want to help Taurus. I got this guy take out this other guy that's trying to. I'm more concerned about the guy in the suit, so I'm going to try to help.
Okay. As you move in close,
jacket. I would love to get it.
They are wrestling back and forth. Make an effort to brawl for me, please.
Okay. 5?
The tussle on the ground ensuing, you kind of awkwardly shifting around, trying to find an avenue to provide some assistance, and a quick kick. Not particularly jarring or damaging, but certainly enough to cause the roll to continue. And you see both of them almost kind of side to the forest floor, face to face with one another, clearly fighting over the pistol. And as you see Operative Taurus roll over to move on top, there's this tense moment of strength, this back and forth duality between the two of them, and this trigger going off. Both of them holding still on the ground for a brief moment. You see Taurus roll off, breathe heavy. Thank you. He reaches over, snatches the pistol from his grip, looks it over. It's kind of nice, actually. Then you see him fire off 2 rounds into the head of the hunter that he had just recovered the pistol from. Flips it, trigger forward, handing you by the body of the pistol. Go, help them. And as he is holding this pistol out to you, the forest floor around him is beginning to fill with mist and fog, this concentrated layer of unnatural, almost ominous, haunted house style, dry ice-like smoke that is creeping around his form. You see him finally take notice of it. Yes. Yes! And this smoke almost kind of grabs, wrapping around his form before you see him fading out as if he's not on the ground anymore. This mixture of predator-like invisibility as his form's outline, reflecting light at slightly different angles, but nearly invisible to the naked eye. About 6 feet away, stepping forward, wearing all dark clothing, a balaclava covering the mouth, forehead, tactical gear of all black garb, and a single sprite of smoke trickling off the form. He'll be safe there. You need to come with me. Now, let's go. And
okay,
running
okay,
off
okay.
into the wood line, you see this dark-clad figure begin to navigate through the tree line.
Okay, I'm gonna try to. What the fuck is happening? The guy on the ground. This is the guy, right? This is the one that put the extra bonus points on me. Okay, I am going to, as roughly as I can, like flip his carcass over, rip him out of his jacket, because that's all I needed out of this. And I am going to take his jacket and run after this individual, and I guess the gun I have.
Okay. As you are navigating outwards now, you find yourself sort of following the overall direction, looking to push back towards Lexi before the form's back almost immediately turns to their front, as if this sort of temporal shift takes place. You feel this hand on your chest, a small disc-like object shoved into your sternum. It'll only last 5 minutes, but no one will see you while you're wearing it. Absolute cutting edge from ARC equipment. Go hide. I need to get the rest of your friends out there. The figure looks around. Dutch, do you have eyes or did you fuck up again? Removing the hand from the ear, you see the balaclava come back, this curly hair undraping from underneath tactical garb as these dark eyes matching all of the clothing and facade around. I'm Vapor? You're fucked. But I need you to go hide now,
so.
okay?
Oh, yes, okay. Okay. I'm gonna take the thing.
And doing this swim move, kind of
shrug
grabbing
into
the
this
back of your
jacket.
head and almost kind of throwing you behind her as she begins taking steps forwards, leaving you with this portable activated invisibility of sorts. Operative Taurus being kept safe for the time being. As Operative Vapor begins walking away, you hear, Dutch! Dutch! This motherfucker. And just continuing to move off before you see the darkness of the trees almost envelop her form, this dispersion of ground, seeing the vast majority of her physicality disappearing away entirely. As you are trying to make sense of the surrounding environment and what may or may not have just transpired, Lexi, your immediate battle has not yet come to an end. The chainsaw still dangerously close. You and your adversary still nearby. Now a tree providing an opportunity for you to duck and weave in and out of where the strikes might be coming from. Multiple strikes having already been thrown your way, cutting into the tree, trying to navigate around it to find lethal damage. But what would you like to do?
So I'm basically just trying to find a little window where they're coming around one side and I can go around the other. My weapon is much lighter, so I'm hoping I will have a little bit more mobility to get around. And I'm gonna try to zap them, and I'm just gonna hold it there until they stop.
Okay.
Maybe permanently.
I am going to say trying to utilize head movement, a feint step, this shift of the hips and shoulders to indicate body language like a running back, only to provide yourself a window of opportunity to quickly shift around the tree to provide your brief window for this new plan of attack. Make an effort to utilize your fitness, please.
4.
The pain in your calf, all but causing you to stumble, sees you continuing to shift and go back and forth, but it seems as if their immediate steps provide a both tactical and physically aware mirror to your movements, not providing necessarily the best opportunity for you to strike. It's at this time they attempt to enact their own plan. Not able to keep up with your speed, but certainly probably stronger than you, pound for pound at the very least. You see the tip of the chainsaw thrust directly into the tree as they try to chop it down, having already whittled away at a portion of it, continuing to weaken its overall structure, looking to not only remove the obstacle, but perhaps cause a significant mobility hindrance for you as well. Leaping around to make a desperate strike that you can follow up on, or providing a more aggressive close quarters hand-to-hand fight certainly are opportunities, just as much as running or enacting some other tactical execution. What would you like to try and do?
They're busy hacking away at this tree. No. I'm gonna try to get some distance.
Make an effort to utilize your fitness, please.
6.
Your assailant much bigger, much stronger, but your overall toughness and form does provide you a certain aspect of nimbleness and speed. Without much of a challenge, as long as you're dedicated to the task and your body will hold out, you could probably outrun this individual. And with them lugging a rather large chainsaw, it seems as if you already created a little bit of distance by turning and running right away. Though as you find yourself pushing further and further away, a gap of, we'll say, probably about 20 to 25 feet, it's now you notice that within 100 or less, the forest is more and more filling with Zerk, and all of them centrally closing in on your location. Running past, you see a hefty, out of breath, terrified, older male individual holding a bag, burlap green to his chest, wincing as you run by. Who the fuck are you? You shit, you brought him right to me. Quickly trying to scramble to his feet, leaving the bag down at the ground, you see this portly, sort of gray-bearded individual beginning to sprint off in the wooded area. And you notice a rather new, manufacturer new almost, black sort of plastic lenticular case slide out of the bag slightly.
I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna go duck behind a tree so I have a little bit of cover, because I know some of these people still have guns. So I can hear the chainsaw, so I'm not as worried about keeping a awareness of where they are. So I'm just trying to get a little bit of cover. And I want also, what is it? What is it? Can I use it? God, please let it be something that is ranged. Please, God.
As you open this case, it's probably only about 2.5 feet wide, probably only a foot and change tall. Something that would almost be akin to slightly small luggage. You open it up and see something that is inherently gun shape. There's definitely gun components to it, though. It's in the shape of a rifle, but the chambers itself are like a revolver, but they're massive. And that's when you realize this appears to be some kind of personnel-carried grenade launcher.
Perfect. Okay, all right. I'm not running as fast anymore. I do want to get away from the Zerk. So I'm going to try to double back. I'm not going back the way I came, but I'm gonna see if I can catch eyes on some of these other people with guns that are trying to kill us a little bit. And if Chainsaw Person wants to dance, we'll dance again.
Okay.
From a distance this time.
Make an effort to notice.
That's gonna. Oh my god, that's a 7. I'm so proud of myself. It's the confidence.
Having recently moved approximately the same direction, but provided yourself distance due to your altercation and David's slight derailment from the plan of action, cutting back across, almost looking to sweep and cover ground you've already tread. David at about probably 80 or so feet, just darting in between the individual trees. The white of his apron, probably one of the few things that really provides a definitive signature of his movement at a distance. But in between you two, still in search of David, maybe about 40 feet from you, an individual holding a sort of compact assault rifle, and within 20 or so feet, your chainsaw pursuer moving your direction.
Oh, they're within like 20 feet of each other? Do I know how big grenades are?
Would you have a reason to?
Explosive? No. I couldn't.
I'm gonna say that you can guess.
Has no idea.
It's got to have some impact area, right?
Are they close enough? Is my question.
I'm going to say make an effort to utilize your sciences.
Yeah. Yeah. This is it's a 2, which is the highest I can roll. So I'm pretty proud of myself.
I mean, you've played Call of Duty. It's got to be,
Yeah. They're probably close enough. How many shots do I have with this thing?
Well, you'd have to open the barrel, and I'm going to say that that's going to provide an opportunity. Even 5 or so seconds to check would see the chainsaw wielder be able to aggress upon you quickly.
How close is he?
20 feet.
Ew, I don't want to be that close. I ain't trying to explode myself. We won't risk it for the biscuit. I'm gonna try to explode. I'm trying to aim it in such a way that I almost guarantee Gunboy is gonna have a bad time.
You're gonna try to edge it a little bit.
But I definitely we don't need none of this.
Make an effort to utilize your
shenanigans
accuracy, please.
Ooh, 5.
So as you begin kind of lining up your shot, the distracting aspect of this chainsaw nearby, I'm going to say that you don't really end up finding the middle ground very closely. But based on the nature of the weaponry you're wielding, I'm going to say that's probably close enough when aiming for the gun carrier in the first place. Go ahead and make an effort, roll a d4 against the
1.
hunter. Okay.
It's 2. I was asking if you need me to roll 1 or 2, but
just 1. And as the grenade goes out, there's this burst into the forest line that sees the gun-toting hunter knocked to the ground, at least for the brief moment, out of view as this patch of earth and trees and scattered debris of the forest floor ignites in this small and concentrated fireball, probably no more than 10 feet across, give or take. The immediate surrounding area littered and pebbled with additional shrapnel and explosive debris. But the chainsaw wielder moving towards you, seemingly unaffected by the vast majority of its impact.
I'm gonna direct my aim in their direction. You still want to dance, bitch?
Make an effort to utilize your threat, please.
9.
You see the individual stare at you briefly for a moment. Behind their mask, you can see these dark-colored eyes clearly trying to stare you down. This fixation of movement between the two of you. No words or any movement immediately, but there is this definitive sense of them thinking it over. And then you see we charge and begin running towards you. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna hope this thing had 2 rounds. I'm gonna try to shoot before they get too close.
Make an effort to be accurate, please.
Oh, 9.
So as they get right within the threshold of your previous observations for the explosive radius, trying to almost kind of stagger backwards as you pull the trigger, kind of letting another one loose that smashes into the chest of this pursuing assailant. There is this silence that overtakes you for the briefest of moments. The surrounding environment completely devoid of anything kind of resembling your surroundings from moments ago, until everything kind of starts coming back to you, the ringing of your ears providing at least some vague semblance of what took place. As you try to maintain your wherewithal, please make for me an effort to endure.
10.
There is a brief moment of hesitation as you're looking around, completely dazed. The shockwave already probably having wreaked havoc on your soft tissue and eardrums, the reflective shrapnel causing small little points of blood. Nothing maybe significant, but even behind the detonation at this range, still clearly significantly dangerous. But as your hearing begins to stabilize and return, it is replaced by an equally ominous sound. As you turn to see Zerk nearby beginning to close in.
Oh, God.
David, as you are circling back, you're finding yourself now in position, coming across 2 dead assailants, one felled by a knife. Operative Taurus missing. Lexi gone, fled in, and Smokey, who knows where they are. You see this small flame emerging from the darkness beyond, probably no more than 15 or 20 feet. You see this expansion of this orange flare. A quick dimming before a re-illumination of this orange flare. Small, difficult to notice. But removing the cigar from their mouth, having just lit it, stepping forward and waving out the final fire from a match. This individual, large, sort of wrapped beard, something of a full circumference fishing style hat, camoed all around with a large backpack that has a chest pack in front as well as one in back. Kind of pulling the cigar out. You look like shit. Hey, do you have a radio by chance? Buddy?
How many wackadoos are in this forest?
Oh, less now.
Do I look like I have a radio on me? holding up 2 meat hooks.
That's unique. That's very unique. Well, we're about to run into some company here. Do you know if Operative Taurus is around?
Well, last I left him, he was right about here, and I indicate at the log with the meat hook.
Oh, all right. We're okay. You all right? Or you can still fight and everything, right? You good to go? No significant hindrances of any kind?
Got a flesh wound here. I'll need it patched up in an hour or so.
All right.
I'd really like
stuff.
to go impale a few fuckers if we got time, though.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. And he kind of pulls the cigar out and tamps it on the ground before reaching into one of the pouches off to the side, pulling out a grenade, using the thumb to pull the pin out of it. We're gonna have to get going soon. The issue that we're running into now is there's going to be a lot of Zerk in the nearby area, so we need to move to a safer perimeter before we find ourselves in like a snack time situation. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Oh, here, hold on to that for me. Hands you like this little tiny small square, probably a couple inches on each side, a RFID chip attached to a circuit board, and a very, very small, maybe inch-long antenna attached to it. Don't drop that. Okay, where's the other one?
All right, just goes in my pocket.
Yeah, just get. There we go. Anyways, so here's the situation. We need to get moving, and if you don't mind, I would like to do that in as an expeditious fashion as possible.
Let's move. But if we see one of them suited individuals who are hunting me and Taurus for fun, just, let me put some of these through their throat first.
And as you're sitting there staring at this operative individual, you see this smoke from behind you almost kind of creeping across the floor, reminiscent of Urine Gwen's entry to the prison bunker where Adrian was held during the Third Coming incursion. Drifting around your feet, again, this sourceless, sort of untenable location, but still swirling around you in some low gravitating wave. You feel this hand kind of rest on your shoulder from behind, startling you. Thanks for the help, Dutch. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you could take some time away from whatever vacation you're on to help. Wonderful, really. And you turn around to see the similar operative that had recently ushered Smokey away to some vague semblance of safety. The short one found your case, by the way, so maybe don't throw your last one yet, And immediately he's kind of already in the process of having chucked another. Why didn't you say that sooner? That. All right, Vapor, let's go. Okay, I understand. That's the game that we're gonna play now. Let's go. Pulling out a pistol as a sidearm, you see Operative Vapor behind you, kind of flip you around. Are you hurt? Can you fight? You fight.
I'm fine. I'm here to hurt somebody. You want me to stab you right now to prove I can? Yes, I can fight.
Well, I suppose that'll have to do for the time being. But
okay, let's
one thing
go.
you need to make sure that you're keeping in mind. Those of you out there surviving, stay safe. Stay alive.